let's shift gears a little bit and talk about notable stories from your adventure. I've got a comment here about a certain camp that you arrived upon.
Yes. So in stage 4, theoretically it should be the easiest section because the elevation totally dies off and you're kind of just working your way through gorges and waterways and flat like forest roads. But it also coincides with the hottest part of the year in France. So you're there in August and it's blazing hot. I was there in a heat wave, so it's like 100 degrees plus every day. So hot. But at the very beginning of stage 4, there's this section called the Gorge d'Ardèche, so the Ardèche Gorge, which is, you have to walk through it. It's really inaccessible from a lot of places. Like you can't drive to the middle of the gorge or anything, so you hike through it, which is really cool. There's actually like a tunnel that you have to take your backpack off and slide it through ahead of you and like army crawl through this tunnel, which I don't really know how that works if you're like a large backpacker. Sure. I'm like, if I were bigger, this would be much harder, but I'm like a small woman, so it's fine. But yeah, so I'm doing that day, and about halfway through the gorge, I'm kind of like trucking along the beach and up and over the cliffs and whatever. And I look to my right, and there's 2 people laying on like a beach mat naked. And I was like, well, it is pretty hot. Like, whatever. We're in France, a couple of butts, no big deal. On the left is the river, and I look into the river. I'm like, everyone's swimming naked. Okay, like, cool. Like, it is really hot, so I'm not thinking too much of it. And I look at my map. My map says there's a cafe in the middle of this, like, I don't know, 18-mile stretch of gorge that I'm walking through. And I'm like, how weird. Well, might as well go check it out, see if they got a Coke or something. I can, grab a beverage. And as I'm like turning up to go up this like set of stairs, I'm looking left and I'm looking right, and people are like camping. There's tents. People are playing volleyball, playing games, doing whatever. And everyone is naked. And I'm like, well, it's a little different to be naked, not in the water. Naked doing your chores, naked making your dinner. Like, I checked my map again and realized it's called the Camp of the Naturists. Me not thinking naturist equals nudist.
I wouldn't have put that together.
No, me neither. So I'm now in a nudist encampment. And I'm like, well, cool. All right. So I continue walking up to this little like general store / cafe. And even the staff are all naked. The woman behind the cash register, fully nude, taking my order, and now I am the odd man out because I'm fully clothed in my backpack.
You felt weird.
Did you feel pressure to join them?
Honestly, no. So I walk into the little store and I'm looking around, and this like kind of older Dutch guy starts chatting to me like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Because now I'm the odd one. I'm not the naked one. So we start chatting, and he ends up like, "Oh, let me get your drink for you." So he bought me a Coke and an ice cream, and I went and sat down with him and his group of friends, and he was there. He and his husband used to go to this place, and his husband recently passed away. And so he's there with his friend, and her husband had recently passed away. So they were kind of there on this like, almost like a little like healing backpacking or like camping adventure, which is so sweet. And they're both from the Netherlands and so nice. And they brought me a whole bunch of snacks, and we were just sitting there. They were both butt naked. I'm sitting in my clothes. We're sitting at a table. I somehow am a spectacle in this environment. So more people start coming over, and we end up with like a table full of nudists and me. And I ended up hanging out there for like maybe 3 or 4 hours, just like shooting the shit with all these naked people. And it actually sounds like a pretty cool place. It's very like family friendly. There were kids, there were teenagers, like all the staff is the same. And a lot of the staff are like kids that grew up going to this camp. And people come back year after year, and it's really like kind of an interesting community because it's not like a cult or like a commune where everyone lives there. It's like a campground where you book in for like a week or 2 in the summer. You set up your tent, and you just like take your clothes off and dive in, I guess. Yeah.